Hey, Zach.
Hey, Alex.
And welcome, everyone, to the Pokemon Power Podcast. Zach, how are you?
I'm so good, dude. Wearing my reindeer Christmas shirt. So it's like, I'm feeling like number one right now. How are you doing, dog?
I'm well, dog. I've realized that I open the podcast almost every week by asking you how you are. It almost feels like an extension of the song.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
Power Podcast. Yes. How are you? How are you, my good man, Zach? It's been a interesting week. My daughter finished up her first grade for the calendar year, not the school year, obviously. Okay. Because it's December, but she just went on winter break. I said Christmas break in front of her, and she corrected me.
Dang.
I feel like an old, out of touch man.
Yeah.
I told my daughter to smile more, and she told me that was wrong.
Yeah. Instead, this is a winter solstice break. Okay?
What's the is winter solstice? Is that the longest day of the year? What's the one that's the longest day of the year?
Saturnalia. I don't know what
that
it is.
Right?
No.
Saturnalia, is that celebration of Saturn?
Yeah.
The god?
That's something about winter too, I think. I don't know.
Zach, is Saturn a god or a goddess? I guess it doesn't matter. We don't need to gender them. It is time.
Definitely a planet. They had rings on.
I keep shaking my desk. Yeah. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this is not an enjoyable viewing experience currently. Welcome to the show. This is normally where we do apology time. We're going to skip apology time. We're going to head straight into what I'm going to call update time.
Here we go.
We have a couple updates on things that we've talked about on this podcast. I'd like to address both of them with you. One I know you know about, Zach. One I don't think you actually are familiar with.
Okay.
But Uri Geller. Do you remember who Uri Geller is, Zach?
Here we go. It's our boy. I mean, he's our
pal. Boy.
Yeah, dude. We're tight. You know, I think we were pretty kind to him when we mentioned him in the podcast.
When I told him to go away forever.
Well, before that, by the end, we kind of, you know how we get with Uri.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I mean, Michael Jackson was his best man. Or maybe he was Michael Jackson's best man. I don't remember the details. Don't sue us, Uri. But that's what we're talking about. Uri Geller, if this is your first time listening or you haven't listened to our Kadabra episode, Uri Geller sued Nintendo kind of rightfully. He had a claim that Kadabra...
Rightfully, I don't know.
Kadabra is based on him somewhat in design. He's bending a spoon, which is Uri Geller. He's a magician. That's his... I was going to say that's his move. But Uri Geller is not a Pokemon.
Is he though? I think that was his case.
That was his case. That he is a Pokemon, and
I think rightfully we need to
Uri
say
Geller,
it correctly.
He sued Nintendo, and basically what they did is rather than taking to court, Nintendo would just put a halt on Kadabra. They said, "Hey, Kadabra, no more Pokemon cards, no more appearances in the anime." And Uri Geller, I assume, listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
And this is what he tweeted. He says, "I am truly sorry for what I did 20 years ago. Kids and grown-ups, I am releasing the ban. It's now all up to Nintendo to bring my Kadabra Pokemon card back. Kadabra, #Pokemon, #Nintendo, It will probably be one of the rarest cards now," which I agree with. That is probably true. He says, "Much energy and love to all." All right. Here's just what I want to say.
We're going to do a dissection of how to not do an apology. How to not release something.
You know what? Not too
just
bad.
Line by line. Say, this is where it was good. And then number 2. Okay, this is how when you say, "I'm sorry that you feel that way, wife. That when I lied to you, it made you feel. I'm sorry that you feel that."
You're going way harder on Uri than I am.
I just think it's ridiculous. If you're going to release it, if you're going to be a good dude, just be a good dude. I have to put all these cutting across. My card will be the best.
Well,
we're the best.
I did see this because Dr. Lava reposted it, and he invited Uri he's like, "Hey, Uri, you should sign like 100 Kadabra cards and then donate them for some charity." Yeah. And Uri did not write back.
He's a busy dude.
But I will say this. We basically both talked about this on the podcast. The whole Kadabra thing is a bad move. His decision to basically block that. So him releasing this, I'm glad he's making the right move here. And Uri, you're no longer going to get dragged on this podcast, at least by me.
Well,
Zach seems to want to dissect your apology.
I think you made a bad move, and then this is making a better move.
Okay.
I don't know if
Yes.
I'd say good move, because good move was implied that this move in itself was good. It was better.
Correct.
Thank you.
The second thing I would like to update on, Zach, we've talked a lot about this show. Parents were concerned in the 90s when Pokemon came out. They were concerned. Do your parents ever talk to you about Pokemon growing up, about the dangers of Pokemon?
I think it was one of those things where they were more like, it started with the card game, and it started with me like trading cards at school. I think their worry was more like, Zach, you don't understand what's going on, and I feel like you're losing cards.
Yeah.
Like the assumption was, we're wasting our money on something and you're like giving it away to kids. Like, I'll trade like 10 cards for one card, and they're like, we're sure you don't understand the value of these cards. We're absolutely sure. And I think that's where it started. I don't know.
Your parents
by looking
were
at the
treating
pictures,
Pokemon cards like an investment.
yeah, like,
And
we're buying you these cool things and you're giving them away for like one Charmander.
You traded a holographic Charizard for
Yeah.
what? A Haunter
Yeah.
and a Gengar? Come on.
Exactly.
That's a random pickup. You could get that any pack.
Exactly.
The thing that we've started to realize, though, because there was lots of controversy surrounding Pokemon when it came out in the 90s. None of them surrounding how violent and abhorrent the Pokédex can be.
No.
So many mentions of death, so many terrifying things. But I did want to highlight this. This is something that directly, I'm going to pull this interview directly from Dr. Lava YT. I don't know where he got this originally, but it's from Satoshi Tajiri. He's the creator of Pokemon. We never shout him out on this show. Satoshi, come on the show.
Hey, we're sorry that we haven't reached out to you yet. We're working on it.
We're trying to get Koji Nishino first.
2021, that's where we're moving towards.
But he made a comment that I thought was pretty interesting. He said this about death in Pokemon. He says, I was really careful in making monsters faint rather than die. I think that young people playing games have an abnormal concept about dying. They start to lose and say, I'm dying. It's not right for kids to think about a concept of death that way. They need to treat death with more respect. And I think here's what's going on. I'm going to editorialize for a moment. I think Satoshi Tajiri is a good man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to protect the children. And then there's the Pokedex writers. And they're like, Satoshi's, there's 151 of these. We got two games. We're going to do these twice. He's not going to read through all of these. There's too many. Now we have to do 1,000 of them, essentially. Everything's said and done. He's not reading all these. And they just write whatever they want. And they know Satoshi's not going to read it. That's why we get all these Pokedex entries about kids dying and turning into stumps and children waking up and being cadabras and grabbing onto a Drifloon thinking it's a balloon and now they're abducted. That's why we have all those. Satoshi Tajiri was so conscious about how kids were perceiving death that he's like, no. The Pokemon can't die. They must faint. I don't want that to happen. I wanted to ask you this, though, Zach. Have you ever been playing a video game and your son says, this may reflect on me as a father. Yeah. Your son says, can I play with you? And you say, yeah, after I lose. And then they start to cheer for you to die. Have you ever had this experience? I know I'm not alone in this experience.
No.
I was playing the game Hades yesterday. And my son was like, can we play Clubhouse games? I go, yeah, sure. As soon as I'm done with this run. And I was like about to lose. I knew it. And my son's like, die, Dad, die. And I was just like, oh my gosh. It made me think to myself,
a better understanding of death.
So I sent him to Satoshi Tajiri, but I did appreciate that. I read that. I thought to myself, you know what? We go pretty hard on the Pokédex, but Pokemon, at the very least, it had the right intention to avoid that.
I mean, at the core, you think of something as wildly popular as this, and like what right now still has that popularity. You're thinking about something like Call of Duty or whatever, and that's like the entire thing is just mockery of death. You know,
we've talked about this as well with Fortnite. You could shoot someone with a bazooka. No blood comes out of that guy.
Yeah,
they didn't die. They phased out to jump on another party bus.
Yeah. I actually don't know the lore of Fortnite when it's like, because you like zip out, you like hologram out. So I'm
Zach,
like,
this is Powpowpod Plus material. We need to do an extra podcast where we write the lore for Fortnite.
Wow. I mean, actually, that's what pushes us over the edge. People still like Fortnite. People talk about that, but I mean, I do think that's the popularity. Something that I think someone could look at that and be like, well, yeah, that's a smart move for Pokemon to just be like, hey, we're not killing anything. They're just knocking out. And therefore it like lets it be for everyone. And it's like smart as far as like it widens your audience. Mm-hmm. But I think that that's even before its time of kind of poking at the video game world that's like overrun by shooters and death, and thinking about how that's like, hey, how's that actually affecting people? Like, I mean, like your small child that's yelling for his father to die. You think, maybe there's some negative stuff happening around here. My son wants me to die. And then did you cry after that? You said no more video games for anybody.
I did cry after that. Just didn't have anything to do with that. All right, it's time for our segment. Gotta elucidate them all. Zach, this is the segment where you do not know what Pokemon we're talking about today. You're going to see it on the screen for the first time in just a moment, and you're going to do your best to describe it in 30 seconds without using the name of the Pokemon, any Pokemon, and also without using the word cute. Zach, are you ready?
Sure.
I'm going to bring it up on the screen in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, no. Okay. So what we got here is just a little mouse Pokemon. It's purple. It's got big old ears. It's got a horn on its head, one tooth poking out. It looks real angry. Everything's spiky all over this thing. It's got little claw feet. And I already said it's a mouse. It's got a big ear mouse. The ears are sticking right up in the air with spikes on its back, spike head.
Okay, you can finish there. Yeah. You finished in 25 seconds. I know you know what this is because the name is on the screen, but I got to ask, who's that Pokemon?
You know what? That's the boy Nidoran.
That is Nidoran male. Mm-hmm. And you can tell it's the boy one. It is purple in color. It has a larger horn. And those are kind of the differentiating features there.
Ooh, okay. Let's dive right in.
Zach, we're going to dive right in to me saying this.
Yeah.
Nidoran male is a dud.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
I read through all the Pokedex entries. Its horn is poisonous. Its quills are poisonous. It gets defensive. And it's like, it has nothing going on. This is wet paint drying on the wall.
Okay.
So we need to do something about this. It's time for one of our segments we enjoy quite a bit. Pokemon producer. Mm-hmm. You are a Pokemon producer. You produce Pokemon stuff. Your boss, Junichi Masuda. And let's just say the creator himself comes in, Satoshi Tajiri. Yeah. Satoshi Tajiri says, hey, I've always had a warm space in my heart for Nidoran male.
Yeah.
The whole world
super important that we made this specific Pokemon have two separate genders and they be separate. And
they're separate. They're separate species. Yes. He says it's very important to me, and he can't die. He must faint, not die.
Got it.
And he wants to come in and says, hey, I want you to make a project starring Nidoran male. It can be a game, a show, a movie. Heck, if you want, you can make a Nidoran male album. But we need it to be successful.
Yeah.
That's the only criteria to it. And I'm going to give you my pitch. There's a game. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Zach. There's a mobile Pokemon game called Magikarp Jump. Have you ever played that?
Absolutely not. I love it already, though.
Magikarp Jump is essentially, I think
maybe Flappy Bird or whatever.
No, it's kind of the inspiration for Pokemon Producer. It was a game about a town and the town's favorite Pokemon. Everyone in the town, all they love is Magikarp. And Magikarp's the star, and they have a competition in the town where the Magikarp, because all it does is like wiggle wobble around, is that they train their Magikarp not to turn into a Gyarados. They train their Magikarp to jump as high as it can. It wiggles until it jumps high.
Smart.
And that was the point of the game, was you train your Magikarp to jump. It was like a clicker game. That was it. And it is enough stupid fun for you to be like, I like Magikarp. And I think Nidoran male needs that. And I think Nidoran's male's version of that is he is an RPG hero. Okay. And much like, you play an RPG RPG for the non-gamer out there, role-playing game, like Dungeons and Dragons. I guess that was my nerd voice. Didn't sound good. But you
It was all right.
Thank you. You're very kind as a co-host.
You're
But
I am.
I think you need some sort of game where everyone understands Nidoran male. I think you see him and everyone just processes like, okay, dud. He's a dud. Just put him to the side. And Nidoran male needs to internalize that and overcome that. He doesn't evolve into Nidorino. He doesn't evolve into Nidoking. He just stays Nidoran male. Yeah. And he overcomes all obstacles. He has a sword in his mouth, like that guy in One Piece. And he starts swinging his face around. He doesn't have his mouth on the mic at all. Starts swinging around. I think that's what you need from Nidoran male, and you're going to call it Nido Quest.
Okay. I love it. Except I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take it to a different level.
Take it to the next step.
But it's an interesting step. So maybe that's like the movie, and I have the translated into a book. I don't know if you ever remember these books growing up. Have you ever heard of or read the Redwall series?
No idea what this is. I know what red vines are.
Okay, so Redwall. No, Redwall. Now I'm saying it, and now I feel like I'm saying a wrong word now. It's Redwall, I think. It's yep, it is. I'm right. Redwall. So Redwall is like this.
This is
series.
gibberish, by the way. When you say Redwall that many times in a row, it has lost all meaning.
Redwall.
Okay, tell me what it is.
Redwall is a series, and now I'm going to share it here about little animals that are like knights and kings and stuff like that. So it's like these
little mousies.
So yeah, Brian Jacques, right? Redwall, where legends are made. So it's like
Brian Jacques.
Brian Jacques. Jacques.
Brian Jacques. Over 20 million copies sold. So to what? People who need like a paperweight? Good. What the heck?
This is the cover that I had. This is the cover that I had as a kid. 30th anniversary. So it's a whole saga. It goes on.
20 million people bought this, Zach.
Yeah. No, look at this, dude.
A million times the people.
4.5 stars. 4.5 stars. 1,400 views. I mean, we should go on like Goodreads and see what it is. I bet you it's tops. It's actually really good. So it's like a kid's it's like kids.
If you look up Redwall, the other things you may be searching for are Matthias, Martin the Warrior, Mouse, Clooney,
No, so that's the next book, dude. Martin the Warrior is legit, dude. Look at him go, dude.
I like this guy.
Look at him.
We're just looking at pictures on Google, Zach. This is not a podcast.
So what I want everyone to think is go and look up Redwall. If you haven't read the first one, just read it. It's fun. And this is my ad for this book. So this is what we do. We make that, but it's using your Nidoran male. So it's his like story, his like fantasy story. Okay. And what I was showing you is like that little like mouse. You look at it and you're like, this is silly, dude. A little mouse with a sword and he's got his little shirt on. It's crazy. But you know what happens when you read those books, especially as a kid and you're like kind of into fantasy and your parents see a mouse and they're like, this has got to be okay because it's little animals. What they don't know is it's a legit fantasy story. It's very cool, man. So so that's how you get all the kids to love this little guy is he's out there. He's got this little sword on his back. He's running around there. He's got this crazy, and like you have the other Pokemon in there, and they kind of look down on him. They're like, he's a mouse, dude. He's just Nidoran. They don't care about him, but he saves everybody. He saves everybody, and now everyone's like, I love Nidoran. And that's the way you feel about mice after you read Redwall. You see them running around in your house, and you're just like, it's totally okay because mice are super cool. And even though they're tiny, they can beat the giant like badgers or whatever animals they beat in Redwall. Nidoran, you know what he can beat? Everybody, because that dude is so cool.
Final idea.
Yeah.
The story of the mouse taking the thorn out of the lion's paw.
Okay.
Retold with a Nidoran male and a Snorlax.
Ooh. See, there it is. And he also has a sword on his back.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the sword in there somewhere.
Sure, he has a sword on his back.
If we took a second and I like just dropped a picture of Nidoran and just put a sword on his back.
A PNG file of a sword.
Just drop it right on his back. He would look
He would look
much cooler.
100 times better.
It would make more sense why he was his own separate tree. It's
Sure.
like Nidoran female is doing its own thing and it can have something, but Nidoran male, the reason it's totally different is because he has a sword. He carries around a sword. He's different. He's got a sword.
Okay. So with that being said, we need to solve a problem, much like we're now famous, Zach, for solving the problem of Seal when we came up with our great names, Hornerus, Unerus, and Nautisil.
Nautisil.
It is time for another segment.
Side effects that are.
It is time for another segment we have not done in a while. I guess since the last time we did Seal. Yeah. It is time to Game Fix Game Freak. Game Freak, the company behind Pokemon, is a studio made up of people, and we've learned one thing from our segment Apology Time: people err. We want to help Game Freak with an error that they've made. That is why it's time to Game Fix Game Freak.
Yeah.
So, Zach, we're going to fix the name of Nidoran Male. We've talked about this before. Nidoran Male is I would say that's even worse than Seal as far as names go. We need to fix this. Sure. I think a very obvious one is Nidoman.
Yeah, just start Nidoman. And then Nido Dude. And then Nido King.
I will say my only issue is that he's not a man, he's a boy. He's a child. But Nidoman, I do think, is a good placeholder.
It sounds like a superhero, but like not a good one. It sounds like a superhero in like a different,
like
superhero, not in like
if he
DC
shows up,
or Marvel,
he shows up to the
like
crime. You're like, I don't know if this is gonna get solved. We should just wait for the police.
It's Nidoman, and he shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, so I heard there's a crime. I'm here.
My power is I have a poison horn."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna headbutt this guy? He's got a gun.
You don't know how often people think, I wish that I had a poison horn. And that's what Nidoman is here for.
Zach, right now, if you could have a poison horn on your head for the rest of your life, everyone would know it. You couldn't hide it.
Because I have choose to have it.
You have a horn on your head.
I don't want that. I would want a poison horn. Like, that's not a horn. No, I would want a poison coil. I would want something on my hand. You know, maybe like this.
You want a poison horn on your hand?
Like
Wolverine.
Like a spike.
Like on the back of your hand. Okay,
okay. A bone spike. Pow, poison. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, what if Nidoman was kind of like Wolverine? That's kind of cool, though.
Okay. Is this Pokemon producer still?
You're going back. Just think what to name him. So now we're naming it Wolverine, and then it's Nidorino, and Nidoking.
I don't know if there's a better name for Nidoran Male other than Nidoman.
What is the what's the Nido from? This is my big question about this.
So we talked about this last time when we talked about Nidoran Female, that it's coming from a couple different things. But one thing that we saw was that Nidoran Female, Nidoran Male come from some sort of orchid as far as like naming wise. Nidoran Female, I think, in the oh my gosh, I don't want to have to apologize for this when we come back from our break. We're taking a 2-week hiatus after this episode. But I believe it's Beautiful Orchid in the Mandarin. But people think it may come from needle. It may come from cnidocyte, which is a venomous cell that is responsible for the stings delivered by stinging animals. I took that directly from Bulbapedia.
Nice.
But a couple different things. I guess needle, we could go places from that.
Yeah.
Needle Boy. These are just super bad superhero names.
Edward Scissor Needle.
Edward Needlehead. Edward Needleface. Oh my gosh. Zach, we're doing terrible. We want Game Freak to hire us. They'll never hire us. They're going to watch this podcast and they're just going to high five each other because of what a better job they're doing.
Yeah, like, well, honestly,
come up with something good.
They couldn't figure it out.
They have needles. They're like mice. You said like a mouse. So needle and mouse.
But it's so spiky. Also,
how about Nidouse? Nidouse.
Yeah, there we go. Nidouse.
That's a Pokemon. You get a Pokemon Nidouse. That's a Pokemon.
Yeah. No.
Are you looking it up to see if it's something already?
I'm like this. Actually, this is where we can't say this on the air. This is a bad thing.
a lot of very questionable search results when I put this in.
I wanted to see if Nidoran was in the Detective Pikachu movie.
Not based on my memory.
No, it's not. Oh, because I like in my mind. Also, I like to see what they did in that movie because it's like, hey, did dinosaurs have like, like did they have feathers? Because then I watched that movie. I'm like, oh, they actually Nidoran was furry, or like actually he's got like scaly skin or something, you know?
Sure.
And so because that makes me think, is he like really a mouse or is he something weird? Because he also has like polka dots on him, but it's also like very spiny looking. And then when they become like Nidoqueen and Nidoking or whatever, they look like,
very dinosaur-esque at that point.
yeah. And so it's, I don't know.
Zach, I'm going with Nidouse. Do you got a name you want to go with?
It's like a tiny no, not tiny Tyrannosaurus. It's like a tiny, what's the dinosaur with the horn? Triceratops? Kind of, but not the horn. Because now I'm going to have a
Triceratops,
dinosaur.
I believe, has a horn.
Nidosaurus. It's kind of cool.
Okay. So Nidouse, Nidosaurus, Needle Boy, and Nido Man.
Nido Man.
Oh my gosh. This is the worst segment we've ever done.
No, yeah, it is for sure. That's true. That's true.
Well, we're going to go into one of our best segments, the Pokeball decision. We're doing it this quick because we're going to do a long power ranking because, Zach, we've talked about this a lot in the last 10 episodes. We're going to reevaluate our power ranking in just a minute, but it's time for the Pokeball decision.
Yeah.
Nidoran male. I hate this Pokemon.
Yep.
I don't want it. If it came up to me in a bar, I would turn away and pretend I had someone else to talk to.
Yeah.
Flee. I'm going to flee from this. And I didn't describe at all how the Pokeball decision goes. Essentially, Zach and I are assigning a Pokeball to Nidoran male. But in this specific one, rather than choosing Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, or Master Ball, I'm just choosing flee. I don't want this. If I don't have to catch this, I'm going away. Nidoran male, an undesirable.
Okay.
But Hillary Clinton would call this a deplorable.
Okay.
If you got a bunch of them, that's a basket of deplorables.
Okay, here's the deal.
All right, Hillary.
Hillary,
come on the show.
After we've talked about this for a bit now, and I made up my Nidoran Redwall book. I'm a big fan of him now. I mean, I'm picturing him with a sword on his back. I picture him walking next to me is super cool with his little sword. And I kind of feel for him now that I've been mean to him. I'm going Pokeball.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm talking it up like I'm actually I'm not gonna waste anything above a Pokeball, but I would originally would throw a rock at him, right? When I think about it in my mind, I'd throw a rock. Like, get away from me, you weird dinosaur mouse. But now I like him. So I'm Pokeball. I'm keeping him.
I'm glad you like him. I'm glad he's found someone who loves him. And you know what, Zach, if you work on that Nidoran Redwall book, I'll buy a copy.
Thanks.
And our listeners will buy the other 19,999,999 copies.
Perfect.
That's a promise from our listeners to you, Zach.
Pokemon, I will write this book for you. All of the real producers, I'm going to get on that, and it's going to be a great fan fiction.
Zach,
that turns into real fiction.
Zach, I have a segment that I didn't plan out. We're going to take one quick break before we do our power ranking because Zach, I want to bet you.
Okay.
But we need something to bet on. Give me something that's going to happen in the next 2 weeks before we come back from our break. We're going to bet on something.
I bet that I will make this Nidoran picture.
No, it can't be something that we decide.
Oh, okay.
I bet I'm in Chicago. You're in California.
Yes.
It's definitely not going to snow in California.
No.
There's scheduled snow. There is some scheduled snow in Chicago.
Yeah.
I bet. Oh my gosh, this is such a bad bet.
Yeah.
I bet that we will get a foot of snow in Chicago
for Christmas. Wow.
For Christmas. How about that? I bet in Chicago, December 25th, we will have a white Christmas.
Okay.
If I win.
Okay.
If I win, you must, Zach, and we'll set a time on it, and we'll just figure it out afterwards. Me and you, like men.
Yeah.
That's how bets work.
Okay.
We're two gentlemen.
Okay.
We're not degenerates.
No.
We're men who respect. We don't wear a gambler's cap like Charmeleon. We wear pork pie hats in our tuxedos. And
pork
here's
pie?
what our bet is. If there is a white Christmas in Chicago, if there is snow,
Okay.
then, and there needs to be snow on the ground. If there's snow in the air, that don't count. Snow
Are
on
you
the ground.
saying white Christmas? Or are you saying a foot of snow? Because you changed now.
I'm saying specifically on Christmas, there is going to be snow on the ground.
Okay, fine. We're not saying a foot.
I'm going to give you both stakes. I think I have them both. If you want to make adjustments to it, that's fine.
Okay.
If I win, if it is a white Christmas in Chicago, then you, Zach, must finish Pokemon XY.
Oh gosh. Okay.
If it is not a white Christmas, then I will watch the movie Bird Box and come back and give you a real review from my experience watching it.
Oh, that's really bad for both of us. Honestly, that's bad. I thought yours was going to be if you lose, you were going to buy me the new Pokemon game for Switch. Then I play that. Either way, I play Pokemon. That would be a great deal for me. But I like that. You having to watch Bird Box. I remember watching it once. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was a little derivative.
You defended it famously on this podcast, but I
will defended against your it's fine.
Certainly an uneducated opinion. I have not seen it. Fantastic. All right, you can everyone check the weather in Chicago on Christmas Day, December 25th. Check and see if there's snow, and then you'll know what you're getting when we come back from our break. Whether it's going to be Zach telling about his experience playing Pokemon XY or me reviewing the movie Bird Box.
Gosh.
For our closing segment for our first season of the show. This is episode number 20 of the main series. And we've done a couple extra as far as like Pokepow episodes, stuff like that. But 20 episodes in our first year. I'm happy about that. We haven't been around that long. But we are going to review our power ranking that we have so far. And we're going to see exactly where we want all these Pokemon to land, because we have this list of 19 right now. We have to put the Nidoran himself, Nidoran male, on it. But we need to decide exactly where he's going to go on here and if we want to make any other changes. So what I wanted to do is essentially go through. I'm clicking over. Do you still see it, Zachy?
Yeah, I see the list on here. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to go through the list from beginning to end, from number 1 to number 19. And we're going to say if there's any one that's in a spot that we think should change. I want you to give me a shout out. I'll give a shout out too if there's any that are questionable for me. But we're going to go from number 1. Number 1, Snorlax. Koji Nishino himself, our hero.
Yeah.
I think we both agree he's staying in the number 1 spot.
Yep. No movement there.
Okay, perfect. Number 2, Golem. As we like to call him, the Alolan Woolly Willow. Woolly Willy. A terrible name for a toy. A Woolly Willow. I'm changing that for his nickname. Yeah. I think, once again, very strong contender. I don't know if he's going to make any movement.
Yeah.
Haunter. He's a real life horror movie. He's in the 3 spot.
Yeah.
All right. And number 4, these I think were the end of the ones that we felt very confident were going to stay in their place. Arbok, a real life murderer. Stays in his space, I believe.
Yeah, he stays there. I mean, I don't see him moving down, but I don't know if something can jump above him.
Okay. Yeah, as we go down, we can see if something we think should jump up. Number 5, Clefable, which is an ET-style alien, as you described him. He is not the strongest Pokemon. He has a meteor mash where he can punch with the strength of a meteor.
Yeah.
But he is also, he's mostly using his mind. He's a smart Pokemon. He's a mental fighter.
Yeah.
As of right now, you want to leave him there?
Nobody's jumping out at me as of yet. That's like wildly. It's hard because I also don't. I could see Kadabra and Clefable having some, that think about a lot. But then when I see Kangaskhan so low, I feel like a Kangaskhan's going to come over and crush a Clefable.
All right, so let's work our way down. Clefable for now, you want to leave him as is. Okay. Yeah. Kadabra, which is Paranorman. Kadabra, or I should just say Uri Geller. Geller, you're cool being known as
Mr. Kadabra Geller.
He's in the 6th spot.
Yeah.
You want to leave him there as well.
Well, yes, because it's like they're all attached to the ones that are above and below them. You know how we did it. So it's like,
Yeah.
I do think that he would beat the Primeape.
Okay. And which is right underneath it. Primeape, always
Yes.
outrageously furious.
Always outrageously furious.
Okay, so
Exactly.
you as of right now, we're keeping him in the 7th spot.
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Here's a very contentious one. We put
Yes.
Pikachu in the number 8 spot.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of gone back and forth of maybe Pikachu was put too high. He's the OG. We all loved him.
Yeah.
We both own Pikachu plushies for our kids.
Yep.
In fact, I own 2. Not trying to brag or anything. Just all my money I used on that. I just got money to burn. If I saw an extra Pikachu plushie right now, I'd buy that one too with all my money. But Pikachu in the 8th spot, is that too high? Because Kangaskhan, we mentioned Kangaskhan's in the 9th spot. Kangaskhan, a sad mom. Should Kangaskhan be beating Pikachu, and should Kangaskhan be even higher?
I think yes.
Speak from your heart, Zach. People like
I think my heart and my brain, when I'm imagining in my head Pikachu and Kangaskhan going and fighting. I mean, Kangaskhan it's big, man. It's hard to take down. It's just a Pikachu, just jumping, tackling, just tackle. And maybe you got Thunder, so you're Thunder. And then you're like, oh man, it's not effective. I don't know. It's
okay. Zach, I think I agree with you. I think Pikachu's too high. I think we were feeling ourselves with Pikachu. I think we were just saying, here's the OG. Let's put him high. Kangaskhan should definitely be Pikachu. Should we put Kangaskhan any higher?
And then, that's where it gets into what I was saying earlier, where I think, wait, why does Primeape win?
Long silences are great for podcasts, Zach.
Just a breathing. Yeah.
Even worse for a podcast.
Yeah. And
why should Primeape win? I think that's a good question. I do think Primeape's all anger versus Kangaskhan. I think this was kind of our mentality behind it. Kangaskhan, very sad. Primeape, not really, he's just angry.
Yeah.
But Kangaskhan, oh, dang, I'm making an argument for it right now. I wasn't planning on making the switch. Kangaskhan is fighting for her child.
Yeah.
She's a defender. And I think Primeape is just working on pure instinct. Kangaskhan is working out of maternal love. And I've seen a woman lift a car over a baby's head to save the baby, not to crush the baby.
Yeah. I've seen a lady commit a crime. That's what I'm about to tell you guys.
But like
Pokemon Powpod.
Crimes I've seen that I haven't reported. I think, dude, and I'm saying this out loud. I think Kangaskhan maybe should get pushed up above that Primeape.
Yeah.
Any further above Kadabra?
No, because I think you're looking at some more interesting strength up there. Those ones that are up there, you've got either some good psychic abilities, or used to be a boy that was kidnapped.
Yes.
Or it's an alien, or it's a murderous giant snake, or it's a giant ghost. I mean, that's everything above there. It's making sense that it's
okay. Okay. So beneath Pikachu right now is Charmeleon, who Zach, I'm going to say may also be a little overranked right now, at least above this Victory Bell, which at one point was number 1. Victory Bell in our second week was number 1 and is now pushed all the way down to number 11.
I'm actually pretty fine with that because I think that Victory Bell is big and strong, but I mean, Charmeleon is got strength. He's up there, and also he's fire, so he's gonna burn the.
I don't think we can take types too far into consideration because, because then you just start saying, oh well, we have Charizard. He's going to be in the number 3 spot, but okay, there's Blastoise. So let's put Blastoise in the number 3 spot. Oh, no, we got Venusaur. Let's put Venusaur in the number 3 spot, but Charizard is fire type. So let's put him in the number 3 spot. It's just never ending. So I don't know if we can consider that. I do think we should take Charmeleon's insane gambling habits into consideration. And I think that he is mid-level. I don't think he should get pushed down too far, but I do think Victory Bell should get bumped up.
All right, fine. You can switch them.
Well, let me ask you this. Is Victory Bell beating Charmeleon. So in the 10 spot, should Victory Bell be in the 9 spot beating Pikachu?
Yes.
What about Primeape?
No.
I think that's where we stop.
I think Primeape gets so angry. I think Primeape gets so angry, he just crushes Victory. Smushes him.
A plant, like a pure plant, like a Victory Bell. Yeah, like Primeape would eat it. He would just devour it.
Angry, just rips it apart. But doesn't kill it, but just severely knocks it out.
Okay, another one that I think I pushed for it to be this high, and maybe it shouldn't be this high. Cubone is underneath Charmeleon right now.
Yeah, Cubone. I mean, I think that it's a sad dude, and I feel bad making it maybe
He's the
more
lonely
sad.
Pokemon.
This lonely, sad Pokemon, but I think that Squirtle beats it.
I have no quarrel with that. I think Squirtle's great, and I don't think Squirtle should go any higher. I think it's wrong for the starting type to beat Charmeleon, which is the middle type, or I'm saying type, but middle form.
Yeah.
So Cubone's underneath Squirtle now in the 13th spot. Number 14, we have Spearow, who is the feathered Anthony Bourdain. Rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Rest in power. Shout out. I think with everything we've discussed so far, I think we're keeping Spearow probably right there.
Yeah, 14 is a great spot right now for it.
Nidoran female, which we described as the rabbit, triceratops, pufferfish, hamster. We have her sitting at the 15th spot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any movement here, but here's the hot one. Here's the one that everyone has complained about.
Yeah.
When they go on social media, people get angry with us about this. Jigglypuff at the 16th spot.
Yeah. And
Jigglypuff
I'm going to go
is
crazy.
A big bully.
And I'm going to go crazy on this. I'm going to go crazy on it. And this is going to be the most extreme thing that I might say for a long time. I think, and maybe we can argue a little bit, I think Jigglypuff goes to 11.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
So just for the listener who doesn't see this on the screen, 11 would be in front of Charmeleon, just behind Pikachu. So jumping over Nidoran female, Spearow, Cubone, Squirtle, Charmeleon. Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah.
Jigglypuff rolls and sleeps and sings. Jigglypuff writes on people's faces when they fall asleep. They are the bully at a college frat. That is what Jigglypuff
also
is.
Sings people to sleep and KOs them. Spearow doesn't have a chance. Nidoran female's got nothing going on. Cubone is sad. It's so easy already to put it to sleep. Getting past it.
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I'm willing to. I hate compromises.
Yeah. 12?
That's how World War II happened, Zach.
12. So you're saying above Squirtle?
Ooh, I think 13. I think just below Squirtle.
Why? Why would it not be above Squirtle?
Squirtle has that move where it gets into its shell and it slams its shell against it. I'm losing my voice here. I'm fighting for my life. Like,
all right. Here's the thing. It doesn't even matter because it put that.
It's that terrible guy who yelled at that lady, and he's like, "I'm fighting for my life." What's that guy's name? Who am I thinking of?
I think I know.
R. Kelly.
Oh yeah. He's in the interview with Gayle King. I'm fighting for my life here. Oh, that's a good one. Great. Don't look that up. Although that is a funny clip. Here's the thing. Squirtle is a baby. Jigglypuff is putting adults to sleep. It's going to put a baby to sleep. Come on, son. I'm fine if you don't want to put Jigglypuff above Charmeleon. But if we're talking about if it was,
Brandon James Greer threw a master ball at Squirtle.
That is because he likes them, and I'm fine. You can want a Squirtle with all your heart and all your life, but as far as a power ranking goes,
all your life, you're fine if someone dedicates their life to Squirtle.
Fine. If that is what you want, it's a cool little turtle thing. That's fine. But you're not going to tell me you look over at that little tiny painter turtle and you go, look at that little guy. Look at him go. Oh, you know what? He's stronger than this weird giant bubblegum thing that can put me to sleep and then pranks everybody and has a mind that's able to do those things. I mean, come on.
Zach, if we're going to put Jigglypuff in front of Squirtle, a Pokemon I like, I think Jigglypuff should be in front of Charmeleon, a Pokemon you like.
It's fine.
This is like
lose. That's fine. That's fine.
fine. Out of spite, for all the people out there who go on Instagram whenever we post the list and they're like, this list is nice except for Jigglypuff, you got your way. Jigglypuff is now sitting like almost in dead center on the list, and there's so many more dud Pokemon we have to go through that are going to be underneath Jigglypuff. So you win everyone gets to win except for me. I never get to win. I don't get anything. This show sucks. I hate myself.
Oh my
I'm just kidding. That got dark. All right, Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl very low. But we both really disliked it.
Yeah. The problem is, and I think that there is a little bit more strength. I think probably Poliwhirl could beat Nidoran female. But I also don't care enough to push for moving it. Like that just seems like a lot of work. You'd have to copy and paste it. So
no, I think that's fair. I don't think that's a unfair thing to state. I think Poliwhirl should be above, but I'm going to keep Poliwhirl beneath Spearow. We talked about it. Spearow has the heart of a champion, and Poliwhirl, as I described, is a Shrek. So no higher for you, Poliwhirl.
That's fine.
Seal, aka Hornerus, aka Nautisil, aka Uniris, is sitting in the 18th spot, and then Slowpoke is at the very bottom, who is not a battle boy. He's all the way down there. Zach, this is our list right now.
Yeah.
And we have one more adjustment to make. Where does Nidoran male go?
Oh gosh.
I think Nidoran male, Zach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a hot take here on our 20th episode.
Oh no.
I think Nidoran male should be last.
Oh wow.
Because you know what? All the Pokedex entries are like Nidoran male is stronger than Nidoran female. They will be like pretty straight about that. They're like Nidoran male is more aggressive. Nidoran male has a bigger horn, which like is causing more damage, all that sort of stuff. But here's my in my heart of hearts.
Yeah.
Nidoran male. I'm not going to choose it. You're not going to choose it. Yeah. The only person who's going to choose it is the shorts wearing kid in Pokemon. And the shorts wearing kid does not know what they're doing. And I think that if you put me against the shorts wearing kid and all I have is a Slowpoke, I don't care how long it takes the Slowpoke to respond to my demands for its moves. I don't care how long it takes for it to experience the pain of being hit. I think Slowpoke can beat Nidoran male.
I mean, I agree with you 100% for Seal. All right, because I mean that guy, who knows what Uniris is doing, but Slowpoke is such a nothing. I mean, that seems like you're really harshing. I'm not going as deep into a Jigglypuff rating here, while we're burying them out of spite. But come on, Slowpoke.
Okay, I'll go with you, Zach. We're gonna put Nidoran male.
Slowpoke doesn't even want to fight. At least admit that Nidoran is an aggressive dude.
Nidoran male is going in the 19th spot. There's our list. I'm going to read it off one more time. We got Snorlax, Koji Nishino, number 1. Golem, the Alolan Woolly Willow, as we've now changed the name to, in number 2. Yeah. Haunter, the real-life horror movie, in number 3. Arbok, a real-life murderer, at number 4. Clefable, an ET-style alien, at number 5. Yuri Geller at number 6. Primeape, always outrageously furious, at number 7. Pikachu, this is where things start to get different. Now we switched over. Kangaskhan, a sad mom, at number 7. The Primeape, always outrageous. Oh, did I do this slightly out of order? I don't want to read this all again.
Yep. Number 9, Victory Bell.
Number 9, Victory Bell. The Albert Bates. Pikachu, the OG, got moved all the way down to number 10. Jigglypuff got moved all the way up to number 11. I guess that bully lifestyle is working out for you, Jigglypuff. Charmeleon, his gambling ways got him pushed down to number 12. Squirtle is sitting at the number 13 spot. Cubone, the lonely Pokemon, is at number 14. Spearow, the feathered Anthony Bourdain, is at 15. Poliwhirl, the Shrek, is at number 16. And number 17 is the rabbit Triceratops pufferfish hamster known as Nidoran female. Uniris / Nautisil / Hornerus. I was going to say Hornisil. Is sitting at number 18. Yes. Nidoran male, also known as Nido boy, also known as Nido man, also known as whatever the other names we came up with. Number 19. And finally, at the very bottom, not a battle boy, Slowpoke. Zach, it's been a wonderful first season. Anything you want to say in closing before we take our break into and return in 2021?
I thought it was like return to our lives, our normal lives. I just have this to say, and I'll show it here to everyone, just so that everyone can really see why we gave Nidoran the spot we did. For the listeners, I put together a really great image while we've been talking. Just a little old Nidoran male with an arm coming out of his side, holding a sweet sword. And I think that encapsulates my feeling about this experience, doing this podcast, this first season with you. I'm excited for 2021, and I think hopefully 2021 is going to be a lot more.
Leave this up, Zach.
All right.
I agree. I think that this definitely encapsulates you as a co-host, that you have the mental capacity to do graphic design while we are working. Graphic design of this caliber.
This caliber. Yeah.
Well, Zach,
top tier stuff over here.
I'm going to get out of this because I don't say this right now. But thank you so much for joining us for the first season of this show. As always, the Pokemon Power Podcast would like to thank bulbapedia.bulbagarden.net, cerebi.org, and Dr. Lava YT. If you'd like to learn more about Pokemon, those would be great resources for you. If you'd like to ask us a question about our next Pokemon in our next season coming January, I believe 11th, 2021, or submit a game, you can keep up with the podcast by checking us out on most social media platforms at Pokepowpod. And as always, for the last 20 episodes, if you were a Pokemon, we would choose you. Have a great 2020, and we'll see you in 2021.
See ya. Bye.